All right, so let's go ahead and take a listen. I got my notes ready to go. And let's do this. Okay, cool. So how do I want to go about doing this? I guess I'll just go in order through the notes I took. So the first thought I had listening to the beginning with that chord sound you're using in the back. And the low pass claps. So it sounds a little bit like preset tone to me. I hate saying that occasionally because I don't want to take a shit on sound design if you're actually doing it. I think but the reason it sounds like that is because the sounds are. It's so hard to describe this because it's totally a qualitative thing and not really a quantitative thing. It's hard to measure it, but when I hear it, I know it, and it sounds like you could make the sounds feel like they belong together better. Someone actually just emailed me, and he sent me this guy who works on with Grammy award-winning producers and stuff, and he had the same thing in his tracks, and this is something I need to think about a little more to figure out how to put into words better. I think it comes down to just making it so that the sounds feel like they're more cohesive. And that can come from processing them similarly, spending more time finding the right presets. Not because presets aren't a bad thing, right? And stock sounds aren't. Like using that kind of stuff isn't a bad thing. I'm the last person to say that that's something you shouldn't do. You should, however, spend an appropriate amount of time to find the sounds that work best together, or work better together. Official Voodoo says, I think it's a strange pad saw. Perhaps it is purely that. I really like the saxes. Those were hot. The bass sounds were cool. It sounds way more cohesive here. So another thought is that you have this really cool, someone called it an acid bass, and I guess that's what you could call it. I think it's conflicting a little too much with the kick you have in the mix. They're both really, really sub-bassy, it sounds like. It's hard for me to accurately tell because I'm on my headphones, but that's what it sounds like. So I would take the opportunity to pick one of them and give that one the sub-bass range, or do something like, some intense side chaining or something just to give each of them room to breathe. I wrote 25 is nice. Why did I write that? So that sounds, so yeah, the saxes are cool. That synth could be, I really like what it's doing. I think you could probably have it be less wide though. Maybe just like mono, put it in the center. Have it like really be the forefront for that moment when it comes in, and then it leaves and everything else can come in for the moment. I wrote wood blocks rock. There was some awesome wood blockage. Oh, here it is. Wood blocks are awesome. Let's see, tone down bass during 85. Right, so during this part, it gets real like mellow. You have the low pass on the saxes, or maybe they're just really quiet. I think you could even put a low pass filter on the bass here. I really like the quiet groove. It's cool. So besides those which are more particular comments, I'd say overall, I feel like it kind of doesn't move as much as it should. The song doesn't take me on that interesting of a journey. I really like what it does, but it needs to. I think you can make it a little more. Add some more movement between, like sectional movement. So let's take a skim through this real quick. So let's take a listen. What is this? What bar is this? This is bar, what, 41. Let's take a listen to that here. And then what does it sound like here? So this part and this part, although you've added instruments, they sound and feel similar. And they are, and we have been listening from here to here for over 1.5 minutes. So I feel like you could probably either just make the song like 30% shorter or make it go more places. I'm going to leave that open to interpretation. You can decide how you want to do that. But an interesting exercise might be to just say like, okay, how can I make this song, 3.5 minutes instead of 5 minutes. I sometimes do that occasionally just as an exercise to see if I can really, really like push the creativity and get over myself. There was a phrase that we used to use in music school. I think it was like kill your babies or something. It's terribly brutal, but sometimes you got to like let go and do it. But that's my thought. It sounded like other people in the chat dig it. So let me catch up with the chat real quick. Did I get everything? Yeah, that sax was dope. Thanks for the pointers voodoo about the YouTube thing. I'll take a look at that, doing that next time. I don't know who Matthew Johnson is. I know who Matt Zoe is, but I don't know what he looks like. Gabe Miller says, I dig this. The only thing is I'm not sure about the intro. You could probably start with that pad sound, low pass as well. Yeah, I urge you to try and make the song shorter because I think that'd make it more interesting. And that's often easier than coming up with ways to make it move more and change more. Zach helps Zach look like the sexier version of a Jonas brother. Not sure if that's a compliment or an insult. Kung Fu video. Oh, sorry guys. Let's try and figure that out next time. All right, cool. So I hope that was useful for you, Vibes. Let us, actually, for the sake of, messing around with things. 90 BPM. Where the sax at? That doesn't work. Too much. 110. All right, 140. I think your 120 is good. Keep it there. All right, let's move on. We got, I believe Joe's track will be next because we haven't heard one of his. The 90 BPM might work, but it clearly distorted some of the sounds in a way that was not good. So he would have to go in and manually change things. Voodoo end of day. Yeah. All right, let's take a listen to... Actually, I need the BPM. Sir Joe, I need the beeps per minute. How many beeps do you have? 200. All right. Well, I know Joe does hip hop tracks, so I'm sure it's not 128. At least I think it isn't. $300. What does Reason even let you do? 900. Can I put in 1,000? Nah, it caps out at 999. Floorman1732 says, I just joined. Is he making a song? Currently, no. We are listening to your songs and taking a community review of them, breaking them down, giving some critique, etc. So Joe doesn't remember. I will just listen to it. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can hear it in SoundCloud. One second. All right. Tap Tempo says it's 100, so we're going with 100. I'm excited to hear the Final Fantasy X ripoff. No, sample. I like it. So let's take a listen to A Prayer by Joe. blending. I like the echo there, or the reverb, or what's the word? Delay. Pardon me. So let me see what you guys said in chat real quick. Quarry Miner, yeah, my video is out of sync. My video is out of sync. Sorry, sometimes I talk really fast. I will try and fix that next time. Gabe Miller says, trippy. Nice vibe, says Official Voodoo. Gabe says the bell thing is just a tiny bit loud. I'll take a listen back. It's very much pan to the right. Definitely drums. Drums were cool. I really dig the drums in the track, for sure. Cool. So there are some parts where I feel like the tonality was off. The intro, I think, was where I have heard it the most. Let me take a re-listen to that, actually. By the way, I'm a really big Final Fantasy fan, so this is awesome. Do I have... One sec. Here we go. So this is actually my favorite Final Fantasy soundtrack. Anyway, just wanted to drop that. Let's keep listening. I think something right there, one of those, that last note doesn't, maybe it's not the last note, but something in there doesn't sound tonally on point. Actually, I think that was the only dissonant thing, is that bell sound you have. So it kind of sounds a little rhythmically unfocused here. And I think that's a result of the Rhodes tremolo like being maybe off rhythm. That could also be very intentional, and if that's the case, keep doing it. But something feels off about the rhythm you have going on here. So I wrote 25 is hot. That part's cool. I like what you did there. So I imagine from this is a result of your broken stereo, and it sounds like the song is it's missing somewhat the highs in the track. Yeah, I think it sounds better when I've lifted the highs up a little bit. Cool. I wrote really like the 41 beat 41. Where is that? Yeah, I actually really like the piano roads you're using. I think that's roads. It sounds really cool. I really like the tone. I'm actually okay with it being panned. I don't think that's a bad thing. And yeah. So I guess my final thought for this. Well, maybe I have two. Hold on. I guess it's one and the same. So the source material you're using here is the prayer theme from Final Fantasy X, and one of the things about that is that it's a lot of like long sustained notes. Let me And if I was to personally remix it, what I would do is I would take advantage of that and not have it cut up so much, like not edit it as much as you have it. Although granted, this part I like. Like the way you're doing in this section is nice. You're like letting the source material speak and then adding on top of it. Yeah, I think this is the part that made me have that thought. Actually, now I like it, so maybe never mind. Yeah, never mind. I kind of like it now. I think maybe I just would have gone about a remix differently, but you know, we're different artists, so that's what that is. And then the end is clearly rhythmically very loose, and I would bet double up on black that you're doing this intentionally. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I dig the track. I think definitely lift up the high notes a little bit more. Sounds like it might be fixable just by plugging in some EQ or something on the entire track. You might want to go in and do it more manually to individual parts. But the track is nice. The arrangement's pretty solid. Like the source material, so cool stuff. I think that is my feedback. Yeah. Cool. Coolie. Yeah, it should only be my face cam, which is out of sync, which is why it's not the end of the world. Speaking of end of worlds, though, let's take a listen to Voodoo's track "End of Day." Unless anybody else wants to drop a track that hasn't been listened to yet. Florp, perhaps, or Quarry is still here. All right, let's take a listen to Voodoo's track. You can go ahead and post one, Vibes. Or did you post one earlier? I think you did, right? Yeah, a second one, or am I crazy? Can I not scroll up more? I can't. Okay. No, you did right here. One Day. Tiny Danza. Just... End of day. Let's go to download. I think Flort meant he doesn't know how to make music, but he's welcome to listen. And if he does, and he should share, because sharing is caring. All right, so let's listen to End of Day, which is a great name for something. And let's do it. I really like that synth sound. It's nice and clicky. I love airy outros. So that was really cool. So let me see what's going on in the chat real quick. The lead is literally just the bass up a few octaves. It's kind of funny because they do sound, at least it sounds like they're playing a very similar part, at least, if not the same part. So I personally, well, let's take a listen. So to me, it sounds like I really like the build up. First of all, the build up is really, really cool, and that like pitch raised vibrating thing you do is really nice. The synths you use in the drop, the wobbly bass and the octave up to version of the bass, I'm not entirely a big fan of them. They don't hit as well as I think all your other sounds. I'm not. I'm trying to think of, some reason as to why I don't like them besides I don't like them, because if there's one thing I learned at music production school is that saying you don't like something is great, but it's not constructive. So I think I don't like the gooiness. Like, I think if you made them a little more in line with the rest of the synth sounds you have, which are like in the build up you have and the intro, all the synths are way pluckier, and I think a sound like that might fit better. In fact, it might even just be on the lead version of the sound. You could probably keep the bass a little gooier. So another thought I had actually was to slow down the rate of your bass's wobble, the filter changer, whatever that is. I feel like you could make it a lot groovier if you maybe cut that in half and shuffle and like had it maybe shuffle a little. And have it tug at the beat a little more, because right now it's just kind of like doing its thing. But if you made it so it kind of played more with the kick drum, I think it would be more interesting. I also think the hats are maybe mixed a little bit too loud here. I like the panning and I like the sound, but I think they're probably a little too loud. I wrote, what is this? I like the beat skips. Oh yeah, you do like a really cool thing here. I don't know where it is, but you did some cool like drum programming, which was nice. It was to break up the beat, which was cool. Dug it. Another thought I had actually was that during the second build up here, so it sounds like this is very similar to this build up, which is totally acceptable with this kind of music. And what I was imagining was that this part, I'm going to do some Zencha editing. 1 second. No, that's not what I want. I want echo. 1/4 feedback, decent. Oop. Let's grab a reverse cymbal just to see how that sounds. Okay, I'll take a look. Actually. Well, that's too long of maybe that's too long of silence, or maybe to fill this space. But basically, what I was hearing is that you could take this opportunity to make it a little different than the previous build, and kind of like fake out the listener by adding in some really nice silence here, some empty space, and then crashing into the drop, maybe 1 or 2 bars late. Let's try maybe here. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Overall, though, solid track. I would spend some more time on those, on the melodies, the melodies. Or pardon me, not the melody note. Actually, the notes are fine. I think the sound is where the work should be spent. But yeah, it's cool stuff. The build-up is really, really cool. Coolio. All right, I believe Vibes dropped another track. He did. What is the BPM? $105. He does believe. Well, hopefully it's close enough. Any chance you could do one other after Vibes? Probably. Send it up. Let us take a listen.
on my feet. So I pin right into this pain in my hand. I let the ink soak and leave a stain on the beat. Cause I've been on a roll, but not the role they put me in. Getting old, but I'm feeling brand new again. Blemish on my face, cause I'm breaking out of the role they put me in. Coach about to take you out and put me in. Been working hard in the gym, now I'm feeling like a heavyweight and I don't even lift, bruh. We been down before, about to give my team a lift up. Baby stairs till there's champagne in my sip cup. No matter what they say, it's never too late, like 7:45. Because my eyes are feeling bigger than the food on my plate. And when I'm done, I want some motherfucking cake. Hear me out now. Okay, I can do this my way. I'll be chasing always. See it close and I can't wait. Oh no, no. One day I'ma make it. One day I'ma make it. They'll say he plays, never fading. And one day.
All right, cool stuff. I have some notes. I need to deposit some tea in my toilet, so I will be back in less than 2 minutes, though. 1 minute. Less than 1 minute. All right. Let's see. Official Voodoo says chords get a tad repetitive. Could you try changing the instruments monitoring chords? Do you mean the sound or the notes? So, fortunately, taking notes was kind of cool because I can look back at your other track and see if anything is the same. And I think the same point I made earlier about having higher and lower, more climactic energy peaks, more movement throughout the energy and the tension throughout the track fits here as well. As somebody said, it doesn't really hit you in the face. And the way you have it hit somebody in the face is by having it go up, the energy shift up and down a lot. Effectively. So actually there was a part where I started adding a hi-hat pattern because I felt like it would fit. So okay, I can do this my way. I actually put that hi-hat pattern in.
Okay,
Normally this.
I can do this my way. I'll be chasing always. See it close and I can't wait.
So I'm going to go ahead and just mess around a little bit. Hope you don't mind the potential butchering of your track. Clipping still, huh?
They'll say he plays, never fading, and one day.
So another thing you could do is, I'm not sure how much you're doing it here. You did it here. You have a transition element. So the riser, for instance, over here where we were just listening. You don't use one there, but definitely could. Using transitional elements is a good way to help bring the energy up and down and make it feel like we're going places. Definitely increases the tension. I'm going to go ahead and actually add in a reverse hat again. What do I want? Cymbals, reverse. And then we need to have it come in for reels. And like here we could probably even bring in a snare drum.
He plays, never fading, and one day, one day.
Oh, you do it on, I see. So another thought I had was that during this this rap section, there's not a lot happening. There's not a lot happening.
Life like a grain in the sand. Picturing a day when I got sand on my feet. So I pinned right into this pain in my hand. I let the ink soak and leave a stain on the beat. I've been on a roll, but not the roll they put me in.
See, honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and put crash cymbals everywhere. We'll see if it sounds better.
Let the ink soak and leave a stain on the beat. I've been on a roll, but not the roll they put me in. Getting old, but I'm feeling brand new again. Blemish on my face, cause I'm breaking out of the role they put me in. Coach about to take you out and put me in. Been working hard in the gym, huh? Now I'm feeling like a heavyweight and I don't even lift, bruh. We've been down before, about to give my team a lift up. Baby says till there's champagne in my sip cup. No matter what they say, it's never too late like a cold.
It just feels like there's a lot of space in this track that you can fill. Like you can make it more rhythmic, add some more rhythm elements. You can add some more chords, more instruments. Let's see. Wood blocks always.
Order the 8 because my eyes are feeling bigger than the food on my plate. And when I'm done, it wants some motherfucking cake. Get me out now. They'll
Vibe says, I try not to fill my tracks with too many sounds. I definitely feel like I could use more, but I like it minimal. Trying to get the most out of each individual sound. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something. Like, I appreciate minimal music. I feel like... Well, do you have an artist that you like that you'd say is minimal and that you kind of appreciate how they go about doing it? We could take a listen. I'm curious what your inspirations. Because the thing is, like, this doesn't come off as a minimal track. This sounds like a pop track.
He plays, never fading, and one day.
And also, minimal, it doesn't necessarily mean use less instruments. It means have... What does it mean? What does minimal mean? How do we want to define that? Like, when I think minimal, I think of this one particular track, and they have an awesome rhythm section. And it's really, I think it's really about just like focusing on a few things, but executing on them really, really smartly, I think. Can you guys hear this track? You guys can't hear it? Okay. Let me grab it real quick and we'll take a listen. All right, yeah, I'm gonna quickly get the track. I think I actually have this. So this is a minimal track. It's called "You Can You Will" by an artist named Safe Word. Two guys who I actually sort of know, and it's pretty awesome. So let's take a listen. Thanks for hanging out, Voodoo. See you next time. Here we go. We will listen to the whole thing because it's like how long is this track? Like 8 minutes. Oh, I need the BPM. What is the BPM? All right, sounds like 118. All right, there we go. Songbpm.com, that sounds useful. So I mean, as you'll hear already, this is a minimal track, but they have a lot of rhythmic elements to pull it together. So this drum beat actually plays for a long time before the bass line comes in. And then after 4 minutes, they finally put the melody in. Not that I'm suggesting you do that. I think what minimal is at heart is saying a lot with a little. And if you're not no, maybe I'm just trying to be poetic. I don't know. Basically, don't shoehorn yourself just because you want to be something. Like, just mess around, and if you ultimately think it sounds better without adding stuff, then by all means trust your taste. But my suggestion would be to add things, because I think there's a lot of space and it feels empty.
So I pinned right into this pain in my hand. I let the
What was it, 105?
so can leave a stain on the beat. I've been on a roll, but not the role they put me in. Getting old, but I'm feeling brand new again. Blemish on my face, cause I'm breaking out of the role they put me in. Coach about to take you out and put me in. Been working hard in the gym, huh? Now I'm feeling like a heavyweight and I don't even lift, bruh. We've been down before, about to give my team a lift up. Baby says till the champagne in my sip cup. No matter what they say, it's never too late, like 7:45. Because my eyes are feeling bigger than the food on my plate. And when I'm done, I want some motherfucking cake. Hear me out now.
I don't know, just messing around. Cool though. I definitely dig it. You have something good here, and I think it has potential, which is honestly one of the best places to be in with a song. So, congrats on that. That's awesome. Let's see what's up here. All right, let's take. It looks like Gabe and Pokey had one more track they want to talk about, or did Gabe bounce? If you guys are still here, we can go ahead and go over those two. But I think I will then work on some of my own stuff for a little bit, and we'll call it after that. Bum, 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 bum. So let's see. Where's the link? Bam. Drummer for Christ. I'm assuming this is your song. Yeah. Download that. So let me bring in Gabe's track real quick. called That One Song. Oh, he said it was 130. 130. Vibe says, thanks, Zach. You're giving me a lot to work with. You're welcome, dude. Thanks for actually listening to feedback. That's a admirable trait. Ooh. Sweet. So that was really cool. I actually really like that drop. That's nice. So let's just start from the beginning. So first thought I had was I think you could probably make the mix a little better to give the lead more space. It feels like really crammed together. I think you have the lead panned here or widened, stereo widened or something, but you could probably make it dead center and then keep those plucking chords out, and then it'll be a lot cleaner, I think. Kid Sphinx, wow, someone understands reason. I tried to wrap my head around that one, but I hated the workflow. To each his own. Yeah, I actually really like it. What do you use, Kid Sphinx? What is your DAW? So I wrote nice drop. Drop is pretty solid. I guess I don't like width because I also wrote less width on the lead here, but that's just more of a personal taste thing. this is actually something I'm surprised I'm saying, but or hold on. I actually think you could have another like repeat this section. I think it could be longer. I think you actually went into the build up maybe too early. I mean, clearly too early, too late is subjective, but so actually I want that part. Let's try. So this part, we want to increase the energy more though. Like I think you could even level up the energy a lot more here and make it even cooler, more intense dance section. So let's grab. This is a trick I like to do, which I stole from a certain mouse who I'm sure he stole from somebody else. Open hi-hats on the downbeat. It conflicts a little bit with your the open hat you have on the upbeat. What was that? Oh. Yeah, maybe another, like a fifth, or maybe another fifth or an octave up might be cool. Or even maybe fill in the space more. Do you know what notes or what key is this? A minor, my favorite. You could probably even have maybe an arpeggiating part come in. I don't know what your chords are here, and I'm not terribly good at ear listening, so I'm just gonna guess some stuff. Since you said it's A minor. Infinity 3090 says, damn, that's fat. I agree. A, C, E. So I want E. Maybe I'll just try with A for here, just for the example. You could put stuff there. There's space to double your dance section and then make the second part have higher energy before coming back into your breaking down and building up. So cool track though. I dig it. That drop is, as Infinity said, fat. So yeah, that's awesome stuff. Kidsfig says it would fit nicely into a puzzle platform game. Interesting. Cool stuff. Super high speed Tetris. Awesome. All right, so let's look at Pokey. Is he still here? Infinity says, I've never seen a VST like that. Actually, Thor is not a VST technically. Reason uses their own technology for synths and stuff. They try to recreate like real synths and stuff. I mean, VST means virtual instrument, then I guess it's the same thing. Pokey, what is your track link, sir? Sir Poke a lot. Emailing you. Just put it in a chat. That's fine. Messing around. Let's see. So there's the link. $121 beeps per minute. Weird, it dropped it in here. See you, Gabe. Thanks for hanging out. And 121. Where'd that go? This is Deep House. Original name, though. I know that's a temp name. Deep House Pokey. I like the grain. cool stuff. I like the weird chords at the end. It sounds like you were changing them up. So, too much Zeus sound. What does that mean? Kinda. What do you mean? Kinda. What do you mean? So, what did I write? So the arrangement's cool. The fact that it's unfinished, basically you mean like you need to end it. So besides, barring that, I think, so the reason I asked you if you were also disco thickness is that I think the same things I said about that song could apply here, which is like, I feel like I just want to solo over your track. Like, in fact, I'm going to do it again. Let's break out something. Let's gonna make a sweet synth real quick. Make a really quick sweet synth. F minor. I wish I knew these things off the top of my head. So, like, I mean, I'm just listening to it, and basically the thing is, like, I actually have this problem a lot too when I produce, is that I make a really cool sounding track, but there's not something for somebody to really like sink their teeth into. Usually that's a vocal part, right? And that's why it's easier for people to get into vocal tracks. That's why they're more accessible. But when you're not making a vocal track, you really have to pay attention to like making something for people to bite into. And disclaimer, clearly you can break that rule if you want to, but I feel like this track is asking for something to really speak. So Joe says, I gotta go. Thanks. What do you say? Blah, blah, blah. Thanks for feedback. Yeah, Joe, thanks for hanging out, dude. See you next time. Keep up the work, Zach. Thank you. You keep up the work. Vibes as well. Says you gotta bounce. Thanks for hanging out, guys, though. Really appreciate it. So, see you next time, hopefully. So, yeah, Pokey, I think if I was you, I would literally hop in this track and just add one focal part and see if you can make it really hook people. Otherwise, I think you got something cool here. You also have, it's interesting to listen to two of your tracks because I can see the similarities. Once is a fluke, twice is a pattern sort of thing. So another thing that I see is you have a very, very nice, gentle, slow energy curve throughout your songs. And I'm just going to say that's a thing. Not whether that's good or bad. Just it's interesting. Like the song just flows, and I actually think putting that focal part in will help ground it a little. It's cool though. I dig it. Good stuff. Me like. So Florp says he made something. That was pretty fast. We can listen to it, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop Infinity's track in here. Yo, Infinity, what is the BPM? .104. Happy Sunshine by Infinity 3090. Let's take a young listen. Cool. Affinity, that was actually pretty solid. That crash at the end seemed a lot out of place. Is that just like a Vengeance sample you plugged in? Anyway, I'm not gonna hate on your ending crash, but it does fit. It does seem like a little more robotic than the rest of your sounds, which are awesomely organic. So yeah, I don't actually have much feedback. This is pretty solid. Like you've nailed a tropical house track. The drop is really nice. So this is like not real feedback, but you could probably make this track longer. For instance, like your track basically goes intro, build up, drop, outro. You could probably do like intro, build up, drop, breakdown, build up, drop, outro. Granted, it's always better to err on the side of shorter, in my opinion, but I think you could totally make this longer. Yeah, I don't have any real constructive feedback beyond that for this track. You did a good job here. Reminds me of like some like Donkey Kong tracks. I like the pitch trills you're doing. They're really nice. Yeah, okay, let me take a stab at doing a quick arrangement here though for you. Let's see what we can come up with. So right there, you probably could have picked up the energy a little bit. Weird. Why is it hitting? Seems like I'm off by like a 16th. This is the part that I want. Yeah, these two parts are very similar. So you could probably What am I doing? I want that here. Actually. So it looks like Did I really even extend it that much? I don't think I did. But anyway, what I was doing there was I dropped a build up breakdown, or a breakdown into this middle here section, just to kind of give it a little more change in the section. But I kept it. Well, clearly I don't have your individual parts, so this part, the beat is still pretty much going. You've just lost the kick drum. Someone's nodding their head. They don't lose that. So yeah, mess around with doing some more sectional changes, building up, breaking down a little more, and I think you'll have a even better track, possibly. But your original track is definitely a hot radio edit. Just change that last crash sound. I don't like it. So did Floor manage to send me something? I feel like somebody else dropped the track. Am I missing it? Yeah. PR Zemoemo. Monty Roland says, turn down the volume of the audio and your voice up. I actually am going to try to just speak when the audio is down. Sometimes I get ahead of myself, though. All right, so let's check out this track by Pers the Momomo. Rymix. What is the BPM, sir? $138. Let's take a listen. Cool. So, what was the last film I listened to? Was that? Yeah, so, where do I start? This is... You have a very, very clear idea of what you want here, and that's awesome, right? Like, your track isn't joking around. It's clearly this, like, hype acid-ish trance track with the full force phaser synth, and that's cool stuff. My main criticism, like the fundamental criticism, is that it's I don't want to say it's too long. It's too long for how little it says. Like, this part basically the same as this part, which is basically the same as this part. And they're all pretty similar feel emotionally. Actually, funny enough, I think my favorite parts are the intro and the outro, where the groove is the most prominent. So, here, so I'll just go through what I wrote. My main criticisms are, I think this is too long, and then like a corollary to that piece of criticism is that I think it needs to say more and differentiate itself more through the song and change itself a little bit more through the song. You have a very, very static emotion through the song. It's barring the breakdown, it's basically 6 minutes of the same feeling. And I think you can spice it up a lot more. The breakdown, as you said, you rushed it, so I understand. You could definitely have some more melody, like in the breakdown. Have like a nice high RP trance synth coming up in here as the synths are rising, like you do here. We could bring it in earlier. The thing with a 7 to 9 minute track, and I'm going to use this as a reference again, which is I Remember by Cascade and Deadmau5, is that it's constantly growing and reducing the energy. It's constantly increasing and decreasing it. And what you've done is you've basically created this section here. And it doesn't really move up or down the intensity, the energy that much. Whereas those tracks, they are much more focused in bringing key parts in and out, as well as growing and reducing the energy and attention. I think if you focus on... Go ahead and go listen to some of your favorite trance tracks and pay really, really close attention to how they increase and decrease like cutoff filters on synths, how they bring in and out certain parts. And you'll find that at the beginning I said I don't really want to just say it's too long, because I know like these kind of tracks are long. So it's important to make sure that you're really, really growing and moving throughout the entire journey of the track. Go listen to Deadmau5 and Cascade's I Remember. I actually plan on doing a YouTube video of me going over that track's energy, because I constantly reference it. But I think otherwise it's close. I think you just need to sculpt the journey more. And then you could probably mix down some of the harmonic elements and mix up the drum parts. This is clearly a dance track, and I want to feel the kick more. I want to hear the snare more. Let them carry more weight. Monty Roland says, do you take SoundCloud links to review? I can, but I need the download. But I'm actually going to, I believe, wrap this up for today. Been doing a It's been on for about 3 hours now, so I need to rest my ears and put something in my belly. So I do appreciate all you hanging out with us today. This was a lot of fun to look at the tracks, provide feedback, and wing it. I was totally frightened. I had no idea how this was going to go, but I think it went pretty well. So I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you guys come back next time. I'll try to do this probably on the weekends, because if we're going to have long blocks of time to do that, it's going to need to be on the weekends. So go ahead and do the follow thing on the Twitches. My Twitter, if you want to keep updated for when I do hop on stream, is at Zach Citron, ZACCITRON. And thanks for hanging out. It was a lot of fun. And keep rocking with the tracks. So I will see you next time.